Systems Summit. VP rolls investors to Nigeria. FCTA audits payroll of staff and remittances. And unflooding. FEMA rolls out palliative measures to victims in Kwali Area Council of Abuja. A very good afternoon to you and welcome to the news at 1 on NTA Channel 5 Abuja, the Unity Station. My name is Aisha Uba Ali. The Vice President, Kashim Shettima, has urged foreign investors to take advantage of the opportunities in Nigeria, declaring that the country is now ready for business. The Vice President made the call in his remarks at a side event to the ongoing UN Food Systems Summit, themed Scaling Up of Multi-Stakeholder Collaboration and Investment in the Implementation of the Food System Pathways in Nigeria. He noted that the combination of Nigeria's young, energetic population at the agenda of the new administration placed the country far ahead of others in the region. Vice President Shettima said Nigeria has the capacity of transforming the demographic bulge into demographic dividends. He expressed hope that the expected transformation can take place on the back of what he described as building blocks that already exist in Nigeria. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has raised monetary policy rate by 25 basis points to 18.75% to curb inflation. The committee yielded in favor of moderate rate hike to sustain efforts in addressing inflation expectations and to improve investor confidence. And now to FCT. In a bid to ensure that staff enjoys the full entitlements, the FCT administration has commenced the audit of payroll remittances on statutory and non-statutory deductions of liabilities. Onoze Yakubu tells us more.
These remittances include statutory deductions like taxes, pensions and insurance, as well as non-statutory deductions of employee contributions to cooperative societies and various welfare programs. To realize this objective, the FCTA is engaging an audit firm to audit the payroll of its workforce with the aim of establishing the total statutory deductions for National Housing Funds, FCT Health Insurance Scheme, Contributing Pension Scheme, Pay As You Earn, as well as other non-statutory deductions. FCTA Permanent Secretary Olusegun Adesola disclosed that the auditing of the payroll remittances signified the administration's commitment to ensuring a robust financial system.
Some of the problems created as a result of such non-remittances include failure of FCTA retirees to claim their National Housing Fund refunds from the federal mortgage bank when they retire due to non-posting of deduction as a result of the discrepancies in the schedules accompanying the payment of such.
The consulting firm has been urged to carry out its assignment in compliance with the terms of engagement, scope and responsibility as stipulated in the contract agreement.
Be rest assured that this is one big environment. Be rest assured of good collaborations because we can beat our chest as far as it's concerned with staff of FCTA. And of course includes all the senior officers, also our members. So we have also their interest at heart. While we charge you to deliver your duty with utmost and absolute sincerity, let the end justify the means.
Meanwhile, the managing partner of the audit firm, Godwin Osagi, says they will justify the confidence reposed on them.
We understand the significance of this engagement as it directly impacts on the financial integrity, accountability, and well-being of the workforce. Our firm's legacy of experience and expertise has prepared us well for this assignment.
The FCTA payroll audit will cover 2010 to December 2022. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, with advancement in automation made possible by artificial intelligence, experts predict millions of job losses by 2023. In this report, Toyibat Anifowoshe examines the threat to jobs posed by this circumstance.
Industry players are beginning to raise concerns on the impact of artificial intelligence to jobs. Mekane Zanya has been a studio engineer for many years now. He expresses concern on the possibility of his job being snatched away by AI in the nearest future.
You go to some places, you see robot doing the job. Nothing. You as human, you're not doing anything. The robot is the one building the machine, doing this, putting that one in place and all that. So there's possibility of your job being threatened, that robots will take over your jobs for you. So there's a lot of possibility on that.
1 in 2 jobs could soon be done by a machine, says a global business company, McKinsey Global Institute.
Jobs creation is going to eat a lot of people's jobs. A lot. Our YouTube channel currently, quite a number of the videos there were edited completely using AI. That is, I just take a long form, like this conversation we are having now. There are platforms you throw it to, it will cut for you beautiful 2-minute clips that are edited, subtitled, graphics and everything. So what happens to the job of your video editor? What happens to the job of your script writer?
While concerns about possible job losses persist, experts argue that AI also has the potential to create new job opportunities. However, it behoves on the individuals to upskill.
Because we're going to need people to do the programs, we're going to need people to analyze, we're going to need people to manage artificial intelligence, we're going to need people to develop other languages or other programs that run with artificial intelligence. So it's not going to eliminate the human interface completely. So we only need now to upgrade or upskill the human being to be at par with the age of artificial intelligence.
Despite the advancement in technology, experts say certain skills remain uniquely human and thus less susceptible to AI-driven job displacement. In Abuja, Toyiba Anifowoshe, NTA News.
The FCT administration says the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration places premium on the safety and well-being of citizens for common growth. Permanent Secretary Olushade Adeshola gave the assurance as he flags of FCT Emergency Management Agency FEMA's distribution of relief materials to victims of flood disaster at Yongoje community in Kwali Area Council. Onotu Yakubu brings us insights.
Early enumeration figures from the FCT Emergency Management Agency puts the number of victims to about 150, while 75 houses have been counted so far. Of course, from what they told the officials here today is that enumeration still continues, but then what the agency has done so far through the FCT administration is to provide relief materials, not food and non-food, to give respite to the victims of this disaster that over time have gone through the face of challenges in the aftermath of it. What they have been able to also establish from the discussions here is the fact that the flood disaster in this Yongoje community has been recurrent in the last 3 years. So part of efforts is to sensitize victims of the disaster and those especially who are living in the flood-prone locations and the water channels to look for to seek alternative shelter on high grounds. The community leaders and the traditional institutions have been key players in this sensitization effort. But of course, they didn't leave it just at that. The FCT administration, through the FCT Emergency Management Agency, provided relief materials to give respite to victims of the flood disaster, and with a strong sense of belonging. For now, the beneficiaries celebrate the relief material that has been delivered to them through the efforts of the FCT administration. But one key message the permanent secretary has given them to take home with is the need to intensify precautionary measures on personal safety to prevent themselves from being victims to such situation. From Yangoji, Onoto Yahu, NTA News.
Thanks, Onoto, for that update. Onoto is still at Kwale Area Council, where the event is still ongoing. And meanwhile, youth in the Federal Capital Territory are calling for equity and inclusion in governance and representation of indigenous people of Federal Capital Territory through a cabinet-level appointee representatives of the FCT Resident Youth Association made the call while interacting with pressmen. Cecilia Julius was there for NTA News.
The youths, while commending President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for a bold step towards revamping the nation's economy, urged stakeholders to support the tax harmonization policy of the government.
Federal government have an exclusive right on collective value-added tax, so the state government in this regard is FCDA, and they have said also that they also want to have the exclusive right to collect taxes and now remit to all other organs, which we see as a very, very welcome idea. What we also just needed them to do is to extend their enlightenment to residents and other stakeholders on how that is being, considered appropriately.
Everyone in FCT is solidly behind the inclusion of the indigenes of the Federal Capital Territory to be one. At least let us have even a minister. I believe we should have a minister, because if the FCT is being treated as a state, as the tribunal has rightly said, that the 25% of FCT is just like the 25% of every other state. So why can't the Federal Capital Territory not be treated as a state?
They pledge continuous support to the presidency and the Federal Capital Territory administration in building a Nigeria that would foster the prosperity of its citizens. Cecilia Julius, NTA News.
You're watching the 1 p.m. news on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. Ahead on the news. National Association of Resident Doctors embark on indefinite strike. These and more in just a moment.
Good evening, glad to have you join us.
Thanks for joining us on Weekly News Wrap.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it is on that note we welcome you to today's edition of the program.
I will celebrate creativity, lasting impressions.
There's no book stating that this is the role for men.
On the news.
On the news at 7.
The news station NTA Channel 5, Abuja.
Would say have a lovely day.
Thanks for being there. And to health reports now. The National Association of Resident Doctors has declared an indefinite strike due to federal government failure to meet its demands. NAD President Dr. Emeka Innocent, in a statement, says the indefinite strike was at the expiration of the warning strike and different extended ultimatum by the association. The doctors' major demands include immediate payment of the 2023 Medical Residency Training Fund, immediate release of the circular on one-for-one replacement, payment of skipping arrears, and onward review of CONMES in line with full salary restoration to the 2014 value of the salary scale. Meanwhile, following the commencement Wednesday morning of the National Association of Resident Doctors indefinite strike, doctors at the Garki Hospital, Abuja, say the situation has led to an increasing number of patients that must be attended to.
The resident doctors are starting their indefinite strike today. However, in Garki Hospital, our own residents are not on strike. And if you go out there now, you can see everybody at their duty posts. It's not because they are not resident doctors. They are. However, they are not part of NAD, so they are not part of the strike. Everybody is doing their normal work the way they normally do it.
We are here to see a doctor because my baby was running temperature since yesterday, so we want to see a doctor. I don't think they are on strike. We are not aware if they are on strike. So, as you can see, we came here to see a doctor, and there are doctors on ground to attend to us. They are about to attend to us now.
Away from industrial action, but still on health. Vitiligo is a disease that causes loss of skin color, presenting as an irregular patch on the skin. Hakimat Aliyu in this report enlightens us about this condition that is mostly misunderstood and sometimes causes embarrassment to sufferers of the condition.
Vitiligo is a skin condition which, according to experts, occurs when the pigment-producing cells die or stop functioning. Dermatologist attributes factors responsible to genetics and the environment rather than some misconceptions.
All the myths surrounding it is false. There's nothing witchcraft about it. It's a medical condition of which we have known about for a long time. Like I said, the basic problem is the removal of the pigment, the cells, the melanocytes, the cells that color the skin. We all have them under our skin. When that happens, patches of white skin appear in different parts of the body, the hands, the trunk, the limbs, and even the hair. So it can be embarrassing to the patient, but essentially it's a harmless condition that does not necessarily need treatment.
He discloses that the only sign of vitiligo is the presence of pale patchy areas of the skin, which can be segmental or non-segmental.
It occurs in all races all over the world, found in all races, all sex, but if people are worried about it and it can cause social embarrassment and stigmatization, there are treatments that can be offered to slow down the progress and improve it. These treatments range from using creams to certain tablets and to light therapy, or sometimes we use surgery like transplantation of a normal skin from one part of the body to the vitiligo, to the vitiligo, plastic surgery.
Vitiligo, experts say, has no cure, but can only be managed with some medications and cosmetics. He advised against stigmatization of people who are affected so as not to cause them depression and similar mood disorders. In Abuja, Hakimat Aliyu, NTA News.
And away from health now, the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, AEDC, has denied the allegations that its facility was responsible for the death of a 35-year-old man who got electrocuted Sunday night at Area 8, Garki, Abuja. Odiri Obere brings us reaction from the distribution company and more insight into the incident.
Residents of Area 8, Garki, Abuja are still at a loss following the untimely and mysterious death of Kena Sunshine in circumstances which are still very unclear. Many in the area had adduced the cause of the death as electrocution. However, the Chief Marketing Officer, Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, Donald Etim, reacts to the incident.
Aware of it as well, and I can tell you with every sense of responsibility that contrary to what people think, that body was not electrocuted by any of our facilities, either a primary facility or a secondary facility. And I'll go very early to state that because a dead body is found lying not far away from our installation does not mean that it was electrocuted.
Meanwhile, the corpse of the deceased has since been evacuated from the scene and deposited at the mortuary. Residents of the area are pleading that the relevant authorities come the area and dismantle all faulty electrical cables and broke down electrical installations to avert similar incidents. Udiri Ogboru, Arutiri, NTA News.
And now to security. 2 weeks ago, a woman was reportedly killed at night following an attack on their faulty vehicle by criminals at the city gate, Karumajiji axis of Omar Musa Adwa Airport Road. The incident confirmed the worry often expressed by observers over the poor lighting of traffic roads and commuters' nonchalant attitude to security consciousness. Security correspondent Onoto Yakubu observed the affected route in this report.
This police checkpoint, the next one, buffer zone at the city gate, and patrol team at the Games Village as well. FCT security observers say there is limit to how far these men in uniform can sight or prevent crime around the affected areas with darkness enveloping the entire environment.
The reality commuters encounter